Hello and welcome to this special broadcast here on India Today. This story that we are breaking to you at the moment, remember, IPL controversy that first came to light a couple of days ago has now snowballed into a major storm. Just to give you a bit of a background, Mustafizur Rahman, the Bangladeshi pacer, is at the middle of this storm because remember, he was picked up by the IPL franchise Kolkata Knight Riders, but in the light of growing attacks against minorities in Bangladesh, you had a situation where religious groups as well as political parties attacked Kolkata Knight Riders as well as the BCCI for allowing Bangladesh players to participate in the IPL, because of which the BCCI was then asked and they were forced in then communicating to the IPL franchises to let go of the Bangladeshi player in Mustafizur Rahman. And now what has happened, you've got a reaction from that action that was taken from the Indian side. The Bangladesh Cricket Board has now issued an official press release where they've made it very clear that the Bangladesh team, which is due to play the T20 World Cup that is to be held jointly in both India as well as Sri Lanka, the Bangladesh team will not be playing any of their matches in India. And the reason they are citing is because of security threats to some of their players here in India, which is why, as I said, this is the reaction to the action that was taken by the IPL franchise on the diktat of the Board of Control for Cricket in India. Now Bangladesh going down the road exactly which we had seen Pakistan do. Remember, the Pakistan team had already made it very clear that they will not be playing in India, and that's why all the Pakistan games are going to be played in Sri Lanka. And now the Bangladesh Cricket Board has sent an official request to the International Cricket Council citing security threats to their players, and that is why they've requested that they also be allowed to skip all their matches to be played in India and then they be rescheduled, of course, by the joint host, that is Sri Lanka. However, we'll still need to make this very clear that this is still at a request stage to the International Cricket Council. Whether the International Cricket Council will pay heed to this request is something that we'll have to wait and watch as the time passes on. We'll be joined by two very special guests on the broadcast as we discuss this issue threadbare. Joining me live from Bangladesh, we're giving you all sides of the story to give us a Bangladesh perspective. I've got Barshan Kabir. He is the sports editor of one of the very prominent news networks in Bangladesh, NTV. Will also be joined by former India cricketer in Atul Vasan very shortly. But Barshan, let me start with you, Barshan, first. Give us a bit of a background. Now it's been made official by the Bangladesh Cricket Board that they will not play any T20 matches in the T20 World Cup on Indian soil. Can you give us a bit of what really went behind the scenes and what led to this decision being taken by the BCB?
Nikhil, sorry that the network is not up to the mark, I guess. I have missed it out. But if I can understand your question, the gesture, that it is all about the Bangladesh team. What is the BCB's stance regarding this? What prompted the decision? Because last night we were under the impression that they might send few letters to IPL governing council and one to ICC regarding the stance. They would love to BCB would love to ask the question, so whether India is fit to host them, because as Mustafiz has been discarded from IPL citing the security concerns. So will they be able to give the proper security to the cricketers of Bangladesh, not only Bangladeshi cricketers, as well as the stakeholders like other board directors will travel, the journalists will travel there. So those are the things. But as per my knowledge, the sports advisor nowadays, the Bangladesh has been run by the interim government, and it is the sports minister post has been taken by the sports advisor. The Asif Nazrul has given a flamboyant status at the social media. And later, Bangladesh Cricket Board has had to change their stance afterward. And public demand was also like that, as they felt very much insulted regarding the exclusion, the way Mustafiz was excluded. They couldn't bear it. So they were consistently pursuing Bangladesh government and Bangladesh Cricket Board to withdraw themselves from the ICC T20 World Cup, which will happen in coming month. So it is the scenario, but it is very unfortunate because it is very scary part of as well, because the cricket administration run by the cricket people, and when the politics comes in, what happens, we can evidently understand that from BCCI's part as well, because when right wing has been very much pressuring regarding the Mustafi's exclusion, and now they had to digest that issue, and they had to go with the public pulse. And the same thing happened with Bangladesh as well. So
Okay.
it is a very shameful, a very shameful act from the both cricket boards. But unfortunately, cricket has become the victim here.
Okay, Barshan has a very interesting take on this, and he's keeping both parties guilty, saying that both towards India as well as Bangladesh, he feels that politics has taken over. He feels that in India as well, the decision wasn't a cricketing decision; it was a political decision. And he says, ditto for Bangladesh. This is not a cricketing decision. This is a political decision where the decision makers have come under the pressure of what the public at the moment wants to see. He's as pointing out to whether there were right wing groups here in India or religious groups, as well as of course you had political parties saying that there should be no Bangladeshi cricketers. Similar scenario has played out in Bangladesh as well. So as I said right at the start of our program, it is a clear reaction to the action that was taken from the Indian side. Barshan, I'll come to you. Atul Wasan, former India cricketer, also joins us. Atul, Barshan joins us from Bangladesh. He's the sports editor there. He says it was unfortunate that firstly India bowed down to political pressure. He says it's unfortunate now that the BCB, the Bangladesh Cricket Board, has bowed down to political pressure. What do you make of this particular move? First from India of getting rid of Mustafizur Rahman, and then now Bangladesh Cricket Board taking it one step over the IPL, saying we will not play in the T20 World Cup.
Well, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So this is what's happening. But I don't think so. I think Indian board BCCI was well within their rights because of the public sentiment is running high. And just for this one issue, we don't want to antagonize our people in India and our cricket loving public. And IPL is not going to be much affected by one play taking out. But it became such a frenzy. And I was just amazed by the kind of tone and tenor it took because of the Sanatan coming in and all the right wingers saying that it is going to be a symbolism. There are 50 other things Indian government can do, and they must be doing because things the way they're going. This rhetoric about anti-Indian, anti-Hindu in Bangladesh is worrisome. And I think I don't know how it has come down to this level because we thought Bangladesh and India had a special equation because we were the ones who actually gave this Bangladesh name before it was East Pakistan. And I thought that legacy was carrying on. But suddenly, how come we have reached there? That is another point of view. But Bangladesh, again, has got not political issues. I think they've got security issues. And they're rightly decided to not come to India because there could be repercussions. And to provide security for Bangladeshi cricketers in this kind of environment will be hard.
Okay, two questions I have for you, Atul. Firstly, we already have a situation where Pakistan doesn't play on Indian soil. Now you'll have Bangladesh, refusing to play on Indian soil. Cricket, anyway, is a small fraternity, very few test-playing nations. The one argument is going to be if you allow politics to seep in cricketing matters. The worry from Indian point is, are you going to isolate yourself when it comes to cricketing matters? What would you say to that? Because as you're saying that for you this was right, but now you have two countries that don't want to play in India. Where does this stop then?
Well, it doesn't stop. The things will get better, and we'll probably get back to the olden days where everything is going to be okay. If I compare this to what we're going through with Pakistan, I've got I'm not very positive, not very hopeful about that. With Bangladesh, I'm sure going down. Who's to know that within 6 months things might be okay? Because Bangladesh itself is going through a lot of transition. They've got a lot of turmoil going on in their country. So I think once maturity prevails, things will get better with Bangladesh for sure. We had been saying the same thing about Pakistan also, but that's not happened. So even if it doesn't happen, I mean, what is such a big deal if we are not going to have these two teams coming in? There are issues going on. I mean, in the world, if you see, we live in a polarized world anyway. And if this is going to be how we play cricket somehow in neutral countries, so be it. I'm not very perturbed about it.
Okay. The same question, Barshan, let me ask you. Atul says, and this is the question I put to Atul. From an Indian standpoint, there is a serious worry that what if we end up isolating ourselves? Pakistan doesn't want to come to India, now Bangladesh doesn't want to come to India. I don't know where this stops. And Atul is quite, positive, saying things will improve. But how do you see it as someone who's covered cricket for a very long time? The current scenario that India finds itself in. Two countries now that they don't want to come and play in India.
No. I'm not entirely agreed on the Atul bhai showing due respect to you that Bangladesh is not going to be Pakistan. That's for sure. That's a guarantee I can give you. But there is yes, fringe out there. There are so many uncertain things, unexpected thing happen over the last 1.5 years. That is also a concern for us as well. But I can, Nikhil, you can understand that Bangladesh is going through a difficult phase now, as the political turmoil situation has been happened, and now we are going to the poll. And after the poll, the political situation will come down eventually, because there will be a selective government, elected government, whom we can approach, and everything will be sorted out. If India and Bangladesh, if they are not enemy, there was no enmity between these two parties. But uncertainly, it is very much understandable. There is always some groups, they have their own visions and own observation regarding this Hindu-Muslim thing. But from here, Bangladesh, I can give you there are some isolated incident happened that is nothing to do with the politics. Actually, it is for their own vendetta, and many things has happened, and some things has been exaggerated over the years, which has been projected wrongly about Bangladesh. But first thing first, the Bangladesh Cricket Board, I never thought they have that much courage to take the thing forward like this negatively, because I never thought that Bangladesh wouldn't send this kind of letter straight away. They might send it to the letter to the ICC to warm it up and to give India hints that they are not liking it. But once they have approached directly to ICC regarding they are not, they are just trying to omit themselves from playing India, and they want to play other venue rather than India. It is some kind of, I should say, very what should a vicious approach from BCB's part. But what happened, what we have seen, though Atul Bhai was raising that it was the security issue, but the security issue has been come to us as the political unrest happened between here in Bangladesh as well as in India as well. I just don't want to explain those things because it is happening all where in the world.
Okay, that's a very interesting point that Borshon makes. He says that you can say that it's a security concern, but the security concern existed even prior to the decision taken by the IPL and the BCCI of not having Mustafizur Rahman. I think it is a clear reaction to that, more so looking at the political situation in Bangladesh. I want to get Atul Vasan's reaction on this as well. But before I go to him, let's give you a bit of a background. We are talking about the current scenario. The Bangladesh Cricket Board doesn't want to come to India. What was the genesis of it? We'll take a look at our top story. How did this matter start? Who initiated it? How did it reach the corridors of Kolkata Knight Riders and Shah Rukh Khan? Then it went back to the BCCI, and then a decision was taken. Here's a look at the entire background of this story, and then we'll get back to our discussion.
The removal of Bangladesh fast bowler Mustafizur Rahman from the IPL has drawn a sharp reaction from the neighbouring nation. A day after their interim government intervened into the matter, the BCB has decided that the Bangladesh team will not travel to India for the upcoming T20 World Cup. The official release does not mention the IPL developments, but has sought relocation of Bangladesh's matches to Sri Lanka, citing safety of its players. Earlier, KKR, co-owned by Shah Rukh Khan, had released Mustafizur Rahman following a directive from the BCCI.
Due to the recent developments which is going on all across, BCCI has instructed the franchisee KKR to release one of their player, Mustafizur Rahman of Bangladesh, from their squad.
But what began as a sporting decision has quickly snowballed into a full-blown political storm. BJP has launched a fierce attack on Shah Rukh Khan. The BJP also called Shah Rukh Khan a traitor for signing a Bangladeshi player.
शाहरुख खान जैसे गद्दार आज वहां के रहमान जैसे क्रिकेटरों को 9.5 करोड़ में खरीदने का काम कर रहे हैं। मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि पाकिस्तान खेलने नहीं आ सकता तो बांग्लादेश का खिलाड़ी भारत में कैसे खेलने आ सकता है, मैं पूछना चाहता हूं।
भारत देश के 100 करोड़ सनातनियों की भावनाओं को समझते हुए जो बीसीसीआई ने निर्णय लिया है उसके लिए बीसीसीआई का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और हमने कल ही आप लोगों से कहा था कि आप निश्चित रहिए, भारत सरकार और बीसीसीआई इस पर को संज्ञान लेगी, चूंकि 100 करोड़ हिंदुओं की भावनाओं से खिलवाड़ नहीं किया जा सकता।
But the opposition has slammed the BCCI's move as dangerous politicization of sport and questioned if the player had been Litan Das or Soumya Sarkar, would the outcome have been the same? Or is sport now being judged by politics, not performance?
जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं उनकी अपनी हैसियत क्या है? शाहरुख खान पूरी दुनिया के अंदर हिंदुस्तान का नाम रोशन करता है.
जर IPL मध्ये क्रिकेटच्या पट्टूला घ्यायच्या आहेत तर आमच्या देशाच्या लोकांना घ्या. पाकिस्तान आणि बांगलादेशवर काय प्रेम, तर हे आम्ही निषेध करत होतो आणि आज आमची मागणीला मान्यता प्राप्त झाली आहे. आम्ही खुश आहोत, आम्ही उत्साहित आहोत. असा उत्साह आम्ही पुढच्या भविष्यामध्ये पण ठेवू.
खेल में पॉलिटिक्स नहीं आना चाहिए. अगर केकेआर कोई सारा दुनिया से प्लेयर ले रहे, बांग्लादेश से प्लेयर लेने से क्या हर्जा है? बांग्लादेश में कुछ भी सिचुएशन हो पॉलिटिकली उसको खिलाफ किया जाए तो उसको खेल में इसको क्यों लाना है? ये ठीक नहीं है.
Several spiritual leaders, however, have backed the BCCI, calling the decision justified.
बीसीसीआई का आदेश और मुंह पर करारा तमाचा शाहरुख खान को, जीत जाओ. हम लोगों ने पहले ही कहा था कि उस मैच में उसको खेलने नहीं देंगे, उसके लिए चाहे जो भी करना पड़े. आभार व्यक्त करता हूं बीसीसीआई का, जो हमारी भाव और भावना को समझकर निर्देश दिया कि उसको बाहर किया जाए.
Speaking exclusively to India Today, former Bangladesh captain Mohammad Ashraful urged BCCI to retain the Bangladeshi players.
এরকম যদি হয় এটা ভেরি স্যাড. যদি এরকম কেউ আর কি, এটা তো হওয়া উচিত না. বাংলাদেশ থেকে তো কোনো প্রবলেমই নাই, কোনো কমপ্লেন নাই. আমি শিওর নিউ ক্রিকেট বোর্ড দে allow our player to play franchise tournament. If they get chance, they allow.
As the IPL prepares for another blockbuster season, a larger question looms. Can sport truly remain global and inclusive when geopolitics begins picking teams? Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, you just heard the political voices, politics being played in the arena of sports. But let's also listen to some sporting voices. What do they really make out of the scenario at the moment, that of mixing politics with sports? We've got a few prominent cricketers speaking out on the matter. Let's listen in.
बिल्कुल सही नहीं हो रहा है, बिल्कुल गलत हो रहा है. तो डेफिनेटली रिएक्शन तो ऐसे ही आएगा. और मैं समझता हूँ कि बोर्ड ने ऐसा कोई गलत काम नहीं किया है, बट लेकिन जो लड़ाई झगड़ा तो होना नहीं चाहिए जहाँ पे भी, क्योंकि कोई भी कम्युनिटी के लोग को मारना थोड़ी तो नहीं करना चाहिए. और जो भी बांग्लादेश में हो रहा है बहुत अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है. बट लेकिन स्पोर्ट्स में एक अलग है. बट लेकिन अब जैसा कि जो डिसीजन होता है, बोर्ड का जो डिसीजन है, मेरे ख्याल में सब लोग के साथ बैठ के और मिनिस्ट्री के साथ भी बात करके, एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्ट्री, होम मिनिस्ट्री से डिस्कस करके ही ये डिसीजन लिया होगा. तो इसमें जब बोर्ड डिसीजन ले लिया है तो हमारे को मानना पड़ेगा.
That's right. I think BCCI had taken a decision because nobody can challenge that. Even Shah Rukh Khan, because they come under BCCI. So the BCCI has taken a stance. But I don't know. We're getting into a lot of politics in sports. I have no idea. Where the cricket is heading. The sports is heading. The thing which is happening in Bangladesh, that is also very very sad.
ये जो कुछ हो रहा है ना, उसकी वजह से किया है बीसीसीआई ने, और मेरे विचार में बिल्कुल ठीक किया है. यस, कोलकाता को थोड़ी सी दिक्कत होगी. ऑक्शन से पहले ये बात होती तो बेहतर होता, पर डेवलपिंग स्टोरी है सर. और अगर आप ये सोच रहे हैं कि फिज की क्या गलती है, वो तो नहीं कर रहे, पर ये वाली बात तो वो सारे पाकिस्तानी क्रिकेटर्स के लिए भी आप कह सकते हैं ना कि वो तो नहीं कर रहे इंडिविजुअली आकर, पर जब कंट्री कुछ गलत करती है तो हर देशवासी को भुगतना पड़ता है। यस, कोलैटरल डैमेज है सर ये, पर मेरे विचार में आई स्टैंड बाय द डिसीजन कि सॉफ्ट पावर है और उसके लिए आपको अपनी मसल को फ्लेक्स करना चाहिए। That's the way it is. That's where I
heard from
stand.
the cricketing community, Akash Chopra saying that cricket in cricket we have that advantage. This is the soft power that India can exercise, and why not? If that is something that is affecting the country. You heard Madan Lal as well saying that when are we going to stop mixing politics with cricket? There has to be a point where you put an end to it. But still with me, two of our guests joining us live. Atul Vasan, former India cricketer. Barshan Kabir, still with us, who is the sports editor of NTV in Bangladesh. Atul, try and respond to what Barshan had said earlier. Remember, he is taking the Bangladesh view, and yet he's critical of his board, where he says that this decision, in his own words, is a vicious decision that they have taken to mix politics with sports. He also goes on to say that the problem in Bangladesh right now is the political turmoil. We are talking about attacks against minorities. Those are stray incidents. My question to you is, should stray incidents be the benchmark basis which we'll take such major decisions? Because, stray incidents might even happen in India. Attack here and there on minorities may even happen in the first world, in the US, in the UK. Those stray incidents happen. Should we be basing our, cricketing outlook or our political outlook or our diplomatic ties all come down to some stray incidents?
Yeah, you're right. Yesterday I said I gave the example of hate crimes in USA. And what if we can't take USA in the same tone and tenor? That's why I said the ego of a human is only shown to somebody who's below you. You can't show your ego to somebody above you. And yes, incidents in India, the other countries in the world can also ostracize us. But in this particular case, I think the whole amplification was totally wrong. Targeting Shah Rukh Khan was totally wrong because Shah Rukh had nothing to do with it. He was just a low-hanging fruit where everybody. And then the ruling regime also has got a part to play. And then public sentiments were fanned. I know that Bangladesh, but there are other things happening with Bangladesh and India in politics also, which doesn't make this just isolated incidents in Bangladesh. You have to see the whole scenario. It is not just a stray incident. There are other things happening also between India and Bangladesh. We all know that. So I think in this current sentiment, board has done the right thing. I agree that board has taken their mandate back. At the time of auction, we didn't know how things were going to, escalate to this point, and that's why we have reached this point. But to go after Shah Rukh Khan 3 or 4 days and just make KKR play because 4 other franchises bid for the same player. I mean, what if another franchise would have got it? I mean, I'm sure this kind of amplification wouldn't have happened. So I think I agree with Kash Chopra also. This is collateral damage. And I think we can't detach sports and politics in India, whatever. But for the time being, and also it's laughable. Yesterday only, after the BCCI's decision, Bangladesh Cricket Board had sent a request for the series of India to travel to Bangladesh. And before that answer could come, and they know what the answer is going to be, they have come up with this, point of moving the matches to Sri Lanka. So this is kind of shadow boxing happening.
A little bit of shadow boxing is what Atul Vasan says. Barshan, tell me, with your experience of 2 decades covering cricket across the world, at the moment, this is still at a request stage. BCB has written directly to ICC saying we can't, play. We are getting to know from our sources in the BCCI that this is too late. Now you cannot turn, just a month and a half away from the T20 World Cup. Too late now to shift their matches. What do you think will happen? Because on the one side, you also have the example of Pakistan. They are not playing in India. So Bangladesh also will be well within their right. If you can make exception for Pakistan, you have to make an exception for us as well. What do you think now, based on your experience, do you think will happen? Will there be a status quo? Will Bangladesh be forced to play in India despite their request? Or ICC will have to make an exception for Bangladesh going forward?
Sorry, Nikhil, because there was scrambling with the network. I must have missed some part of the question. But from my understanding, I can explain the thing whatever I have heard. Your question, yes, Bangladesh cricket doesn't have the legacy like Pakistan, and Pakistan cricket has so many things in their under their belt. They are the ex-world champion in ODI format and T20 format, and they have a very interesting cricketing legacy. which separates them from Bangladesh. And Bangladesh is not a ideal opponent like Pakistan for India in politically and geographically. That I can assure you that Bangladesh is a lesser opponent than Pakistan in terms of politics and in terms of cricketing aspect as well, because Bangladesh hasn't proved themselves
Pakistan also become like Bangladesh
into
only
the
now.
international cricket as well. Yeah, so there can't be any status quo. Yeah, Bangladesh can go. I guess as per my understanding, BCCI will ask them, or BCCI will give the ICC the narrative or explanation that it would be a nightmare for the logistics point of view. So Bangladesh will visit the later part, and then how they will respond, it will be interesting to see, because if they can arrange the match in Sri Lanka for Bangladesh, it will be better to respect the choice of Bangladeshi cricket lovers. But if the practical issue comes forward and it doesn't suit, then BCCI has every right to exercise that.
Okay, we're running out of time, but before I wrap up, one final question to Atul Vasan, because Atul, you mentioned that okay, Bangladesh player, one player doesn't play in the IPL. I don't know how much of a difference will it make, but I've been looking and tracking IPL in the recent past. The IPL brand value is falling, right? As I said, one of the major draws of IPL to begin with used to be, Pakistani players coming and playing. Now that's been for more than a decade now history. From 2009 onwards, no Pakistani players have played, and yet the IPL has gone from strength to strength. Now you may have a scenario, again, Bangladesh doesn't contribute as many players, but you might have a scenario where, again, Bangladesh players not coming in. All of this is bringing some sort of bad press to the IPL. I want to know, a brand IPL is already falling a bit. We have multiple owners wanting to sell. How much does brand IPL suffer with more bad press coming its way now with the latest controversy that we've got?
Well, let me tell you, it doesn't really matter if any players play or not in IPL. IPL is very robust. The only thing that is going to hurt IPL is the detaching of real money gaming sponsors now. So that is going to be the biggest hurdle for IPL. I mean, Pakistani players, yes, a few players, if they would have been there, the level would have increased. But I think there was never a written instruction to any of the franchise not to pick up Pakistani players. It was a tacit understanding. And I think in hindsight, if BCCI could have given that tacit understanding before the auction to the franchisees, maybe Mustafizur wouldn't have been picked up anyway. So I mean, in spite of their names being in the list. So I think going forward, IPL will not suffer at all, because IPL is a different kind of a beast altogether. It doesn't really matter if any of the Indian big players not being there will totally affect the IPL's interest. But I don't think so that with Bangladesh and IPL will not isolate because of these decisions Indian cricket with world cricket.
On the same note, Barshan, to you, apart from asking right now, the ICC, BCB has said no playing in India. What they've also done is revoke the NOC for Bangladesh players to play in the IPL. Do you think this is going to now continue in times to come, or do you think this is just a temporary step?
Yeah, but it is interesting. They were allowed Mustafiz for the ICC and now revoked the NOC from not playing, not let him play for the IPL, because it is not going to happen. If now India and IPL governing council giving him the green signal, he won't be allowed to play, because Bangladesh cricket won't allow it. It is just tit for tat like thing. It is very
Atul,
interesting.
Atul, you wanted to say something quickly.
Like Kabir is laughing. I just say, want to quote Shakespeare. Hell hath no fury as a woman scorned.
Okay. On that note, we'll wind up. We're completely out of time. But Barshan, Kabir, Atul Vasan, thank you so much for taking our time speaking to India today. What we can tell you is that we haven't heard the final word on this, right?